Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Urbek, which is a city builder, and as you know, I do love my city builders. It's got a lot of options already, and you can choose to have your city in the rankings amongst other players as well, which is really kind of cool. As always, we'll look through the settings first and then we'll go into the gameplay and I'll give you my first thoughts and impressions. So let's not waste any more time, let's jump straight into those options. Alright, so your options then. It starts out with your basics, you've got your language, your autosave frequency, which is nice. You can keep the newest autosaves as well. You can have inverted scrolling and edge scrolling on or off. Your master volume, music and sound effects, and happily these are, even though they're set at 100, it's only half of what the actual maximum is. I don't know why they set the number as 100 if it's halfway to... Anyway, it's fine. You've got your graphics options. Quality preset is high. What I will say is the text on the start menu and stuff is a little bit blurry. It's not as clear as what it maybe could be. And that's a little weird and a bit off-putting in a way. But outside of that, it's like a sort of pixelated game with the graphic style, and it looks really quite pretty. You can play in windowed, you can have shadows on, vehicles, pedestrians, show alerts on pedestrian mode, rendering distance, VSync on or off, FPS limiter. If you have VSync off, you can limit your FPS. Fog, and you can choose the fog color as well. You can set the fog color. You can have your depth of field, focus distance, aperture, and focal length. Quite a lot of really nice graphic options here for a game that isn't that graphically intensive. I'm very happy to see it. You've then got your hotkeys, which I do believe are rebindable. You've got a lot, even though, again, with most city builders, most of the time you're going to be using your mouse. And then that's your lot. That's your options. Really very in-depth. Very happy to see it. I don't know why your like main options doesn't have an options, if that makes sense. Like, you've got graphics and hotkeys and then just back to get to this first options menu. There are mods available. I don't actually have any. I don't know how big the modding scene for this game is yet, but you can put mods in the game as well. So yeah, let's jump into the game and see what it's all about. We'll go through the new game options first, then we'll load into one of the games that I've already got going. Okay, so the new game options are actually really very good. You get a lot of customization to really give you a good feeling for what you're about to do. You have your city name, which you can name it whatever you want. You can even randomize it if you so desire. You can choose the biome. It would be nice if they had more maps, but I'm guessing mods will probably add to that later on as well. And it gives you a description of each map that you're going to choose. You've got your map size. Honestly, you probably want to go for a giant map. I started on a medium. I left it all at default settings, but you're probably going to want a giant map, and I'll explain why when we get into the game. Your starting resources. I like the fact that you can have a full-on sandbox mode, so you can just go out and build whatever, or you can make it quite difficult on yourself and have low starting resources. You can have the sea. You can have a couple of islands. You can have, like, you know, full-on rivers. Mighty river, you can have lagoons, you can have snow, you can have desert, you can choose to have no snow and no desert, and then you can use mods as well. Mods, interestingly enough, is on by default, although I haven't actually got any, so it's nice that that's just on, so that it makes it a lot simpler and easier if you do decide to have mods in the game. Let's see what the game actually plays like, shall we? Alright, here we are. We are in the game. As you can see, I've got a nice little city going right now. You can zoom all the way in. You can change your view type as well by pressing control button, which is really kind of cool. You can zoom in and see what everybody's doing. The only problem is that the camera movement in this mode is incredibly slow, so you're probably not going to want to switch to this view very often. As you can see, we've got some fields going. We are still technically doing the tutorial as things are still unlocking, but we were getting to a point where, you know, it was taking a while to get these things to go, like the villas and stuff. You've got your time here. You can speed it up, slow it down, but honestly, the base speed is fast enough that it keeps the pace going, that I haven't felt like I've needed to speed the time up, if that makes sense. And then yeah, it's basically like every other city builder, if not just a little bit more simple. So you've got all your options down here. The more you grow, the more you develop, the more things you unlock. You need fields for food. You need to have houses to allow workers to do their thing. You need a decent amount of wood, and you need a decent amount of power as well, which you unlock with the lumberjack house, which shows you what it produces and what it stores as well. It's like it's a very good entry into a city builder. If you've never played a city builder before, I would 100% recommend this, because it's not too strict, it's not too tough, there's not too much going on. There's early game, it teaches you everything you need to know to build a very good city, and the tutorial in the bottom right hand corner automatically updates when you do each task, and it also shows you certain features and functions like pressing N and stuff to see the achievements that you've got. The problem with it is, or the problem that I'm having with it is, that on a medium map you don't have a lot of space, right? You've got the river in the middle, and then you've got this massive area here which you can then build to, which works and is great. In your starting area where I chose to build, the main problem I'm having is that certain buildings, certain areas require certain things in order to be able to build them. For example, you need to have a set amount of farmhouses in radius. You need no modern grain silo and no grain silo in a 6 mile radius. You can't just build 2 silos together because it won't let you. And as you can see in the area that I've built now, I'm running out of room. So if I wanted a new silo, I would need to build over to this area here. And it can become quite frustrating when you've got a task in the bottom right hand corner and you're building through and you're improving your city, and you can't progress because you don't have the actual room in order to put the thing down. Like, it's the same with your lumberjack houses and stuff, and your actual lumberjack area, wooding areas. You can't have them within a set amount of space with each other. And as you can see, I don't have that many forest lands, so I'm struggling a little bit. But aside from that, if you can work your way around that, you're okay. It's not terrible. Like, you can space things around, you can put things on certain areas. You've got a decent amount of progression here. As you can see, look, we've got grain silo, we've got things like markets and stuff that we can upgrade. We've got a water mill that we can put on, and docks. We've got different types of parks. We've got nightlife later on, and we also have a football pitch later on as well when we unlock it. It's deceptively complex, right? It's very simple on the surface, but once you start getting going, and once everybody starts upgrading the houses and you unlock more, it does sort of open up the world to the possibility of how good you could make it. Like here with this villa, for example, I've got to be, certain amounts of space away, and you've got to have green areas, i.e. parks, and you've got to have zero pollution, etc. from wooding areas. Overall, I really, really like this game, and it's a game that I do want to continue playing. I find it very relaxing, and it's nice not to have all the stresses thrown at you straight away. Whereas, say, like a game like Capital, which is all about the difficulty, right? It's all about as much difficulty as is humanly possible to throw into the mix, right? Whereas this doesn't have that. It's very chill, it's very relaxed. As you can see, I'm not suffering for resources, I'm not suffering for anything at all. And I'm excited to see what else the game will add in as we go along. Let me know in those comments down below if this is going to be the city builder for you, as it is for me. I really enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going to go away and play some more. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.